Hello everybody, my name is Alan, I'm from Sauber-Lab, and today will be another video about Oracle Cloud, but I will not explain anything new. I will answer the question for one of my videos. The person come to my video, principally the one that I show how you can install WordPress, and ask, Alan, I understand how to do the installation for WordPress, but I would like to know if I can install more than one server or more than one website in the same VM. And the answer, yes, you can do it. You have few ways to do. In this video, we will show how you can install more than one WordPress in one VM or more than one application in the same VM, and in this way you can do as many as you want as long as you configure it properly. This video will show the Docker option using Portainer, but one of the next videos I wanted to show how you can use a cPanel specific for WordPress. In this way you can do a little bit more robust method of control. So if you like this idea and want to learn a little bit more about it, we're gonna show in this video. But first of all, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe for the channel if you're not yet, and let's understand a little bit more about it. Before I started to explain how you can host more than one website in the same machine, I needed to go for the basics. First thing, this machine you need to have a Docker, because we're gonna install WordPress in a Docker. Other thing, I will suggest to have a Portainer, because it will be the easiest way to manage it and see what's going on in the background. Other thing, this machine needs to have a Linux base, because Docker will work better with Linux. In my case, I'm using Ubuntu, but you can use any other system. Have this one in mind and have this system set up, we can go now in the computer and try to understand what configuration that I have. Here I'm using Oracle Cloud. This Oracle Cloud that was created a long time ago, where I will start to do my first website, the UK Sauber-Lab, and now I change it because I'm doing some trials and this machine needs more for test. So it's not using for production at the moment. Other thing that I need to remember that they are using a ARM system. This reason that I need to do some modification in my WordPress. I cannot only copy exactly the one that is there in the system and use exactly the same. So I have my machine set up, and this machine, they have this follow IP. Other thing that's important for this machine, that I have my cloud network and I have my Portainer installed. Here my Portainer, I have some containers already installed, but they're not in use. First container will be the proxy manager. This one will be manage my websites. If you put www.sauberlab.com, you're gonna find my website. If you don't have the proxy manager, you need to give only this IP address, what it's not so interesting. Other thing that's interesting to have, it's I'm using Cloudflare, and this Cloudflare, it's to create a proxy. So if they open my website, they will not directly link for this website or this IP address. So in this way, it's a little bit more protected. In this video, we're not going to show how to set up the proxy manager or the Cloudflare, because I already posted a video before it, and I wanted to focus how to install multiple WordPress in the same machine. So have this one in mind, we can come here in the official Docker container for the WordPress. Here, this image has been downloaded more than 1 billion times, so it's lots of people using it. And if I come here, they explain some informations, but what it's key for me, it's this part of Docker Compose. Why I say that you don't need to have a Portainer? Because you can create a Docker Compose.iml and you can run it as a Docker Compose run and up in the cloud and up it in your Docker. But in my case, I want to use Portainer because I want to have the ability to modify it and use the way that I want. So I come here in my Portainer, company stock, and add a new stock. Here, once that I add a new stock, I can paste this information, and here's the basic information. We're gonna need to change only two things in this case, but the rest will be exactly the same. First thing, we're gonna name it. In my case, the name of this container will be Sauber-Lab WordPress. Other thing that we need to look, it's this port. This one that will be the key to allow you to have more than one website. Always remember, only modifying those before the two dots. If you modify these ones after these two dots, put 8000 to be exactly the same or similar. If I put one extra zero, they will not. If I modify anything after these two dots, look like I put the extra 0, they will not identify what they want. They're looking for the port specific 8. And if I have anything else, they will not find that port and not find the correct address. So remember, everything after the dots is really important to keep the same. So we're gonna keep the same, and here that's the port that I will define. And how I know how to configure this one or what to choose. You can choose any port that's not in use. So I will come here in my virtual network, and here I already create some information. First thing, I have my proxy manager ports able, and so I will not be able to use port 8, port 443 or port 81, and I will not be able to use this port 9000 as well because they are dedicated for the portainer. Now what we need to do, we need to create another port. In my case, I will use port 8000 for the first website and 8002 for my second website. So if I come here in my portainer, I will put 8000, and here I don't need to modify anything. Other thing that I suggest, you properly create an absolute path, and that in this way you can backup this data a little bit more easy. Because we not bother about it, we're gonna create only a volume, and that's the portainer will manage this volume. And here in the volumes you're gonna be able to see. Of course you can have access, but it will be a little bit more tricky to do it. So in this way it's much easier for you put /mmt and WordPress, and that's after this one you can only use FTP or anything to pull this data out. But in our case we're gonna leave exactly the same. Other thing that I'm gonna need to modify is MySQL. Why? Because this MySQL don't work with ARM system. So in this way it's quite simple. I will modify it for MariaDB. If you're using a 64 or 86-bit system, you don't need to modify, but in my case I'm using ARM, I will need to modify. I need to do anything else? No, I don't need to do anything else because all the volumes, everything has been created, so I'll put deploy the stack. Because I already have this installed before, it will be really quick to install. So let's wait a few seconds until they finish. After a few seconds, this container has been created, so I'll come here and copy all this information for this container. So I'll come here, copy everything, and we'll create a new stack. In my case, I will change the port for 8002, and I will create similar name. But in my case, I will put Sauber-Lab 2. This way, I come here and put deploy the stack. I don't need to modify anything. If you want, you can modify. If I come here in my volume, as I told, the volume is created against of those data. So I have the first volume called Sauber-Lab and other Sauber-Lab 2. In this way, I can come here in my container and I have 4 containers, and here is the port. The first one will be 8000 and the second one 8002. So if I come here and click 8000, they will open my first WordPress. If I come here 8002, I will open my second WordPress. And I can do it as many as I want. I can do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as long as your system will work with the quantity of space that you need and the speed of this system. My first website will be Sauber-Lab 1 with the user Sauber-Lab 1 and the password Sauber-Lab 1. After install, I will do login with my user and put login. Now I have access for the first WordPress, and if I come here in my site, the red appear as a Sauber-Lab, and this is the information that happened. So if I come here, my second WordPress, and do the same configuration, but in this case I will put Sauber-Lab 2, the same thing, and the same thing for my password. And now I will do my login. In this case I have my second website. Here if I open will be Sauber-Lab 2 and here Sauber-Lab 1 with different IP address. Now on, if you wanted to have a proper website, then you need to directly the proxy manager for look for that IP address. In this video I only show how you can use directly in the Docker, but in the next video I want to show how you can use the cPanel to do the same activity. You can have more than one WordPress work in the cPanel if you are hosting it yourself. This configuration that I did don't necessarily need to be only with WordPress. You can do it with anything that you want. So if you have 2 applications that you want to do with different systems or different configuration, you can do it. This is the good for the portainer. So I hope that you guys like this video, and if you like, don't forget to leave your like. If you don't like, leave your dislike, and I see you next time.